Hey everyone, this is Jack from the Cardboard Herald, and today we are taking a look at one of the most bizarre, strange, and yet oddly alluring titles that I've had a chance to review in Cardboard Herald history, and that is Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town, which in a name alone, that just evokes so much, right? There are so many questions that I had when I first was looking at the game, and I imagine you have them too. Like, is it psychic pizza? Are the pizza deliverers themselves psychic? And then what about the ghost town thing? Are there other delivery towns that they go to? It's just so much to contend with, and the game just plays it completely straight as if this makes total sense to you and to me, and I think that's honestly one of its strengths, that it is unyielding in its dedication to the absurdity of the title and the concept of the game itself. So let's talk about what is this game. This is a game where one player is going to be the dedicated mayor, the game master, the orchestrator, the MC of the game session, and then there are going to be other players, and they are going to be competing to see who can collect a pizza in the ghost town and then deliver to the corresponding location before any other players manage to do the same. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, the reason why this is a 1v-all, or not even a 1v-all, why it's an orchestrator that is managing the game versus two players that are actually competing, is that the mayor has a secret setup that they have done according to either some cards that prompted them, or according to the setup rules if they want to make their own custom arena. And hidden within the box, which is a cool concept anytime that it comes up, where the box is a component in the game itself, but hidden within it, you have all of the town set up with the different pizzas, the different locations where they need to be delivered, and the ghosts, ghosts that players are going to have to encounter in a very Scooby-Dooian sort of mystery, except it's not Old Man Withers, it's actually ghosts that they're going to do psychic battle with. Whereas the players each have a dry erase board that has a way bigger grid. Without knowing any of the setup or any of their surroundings to start out with, they're going to take turns announcing cardinal directions that they're going to attempt to move in, and the mayor is going to let them know if they succeed in that movement, if they encounter a ghost, if they bump into a wall, or if there's any other objects of note, which could be teleporters, could be, whoa, you found a pizza. It could be, hey, you've successfully delivered. And then after the movement is done, whether it was successful or not for a variety of reasons, the mayor is going to give that player information about their surroundings. How many ghosts are in the 8 spaces surrounding them, as well as where are barriers that are adjacent to them right now. Now, those barriers could be in the middle of the map, or they could be the exterior perimeter of the map. So what this ends up being is like some sort of blindfolded game where you are having to acquaint yourself with the surroundings and then utilize that to navigate all across the map. And on the mayor's town board, they're keeping track of where the players are moving, keeping them apprised of the information that they're allowed to have, answering questions that are allowed to be answered, and really just being there to obfuscate the information and allow the other players to operate in this game. Honestly, the best comparison I can make is it's like analog Minesweeper with a Earthboundian theme. The only other wrinkle to this, which is one of the cool elements I like a lot, is that players have power cards, these psychic powers that they can utilize in order to do interesting and different things. They can zone in on potential pizzas that they want to pick up and then ultimately deliver. They can move a great number of distances in a straight or diagonal line until they run into some sort of obstruction. There's a bunch of different psychic powers. You start with one each, and then you can acquire more if you defeat ghosts, which is pretty much the only other action that players can take in the game, is if they attempt to move and they are informed, hey, there's a ghost where you've gone to, or you know based off of the information that you've been provided that there must or more likely will be a ghost in the area adjacent to you, then the player can say, I attack on my turn, which doesn't allow them to move into the space, but it does clear the ghost if there was a ghost there, and they get to draw another psychic power, thereby giving them more mobility, more tool, more utility, more information. And it's absurdly specific and so completely unique. I've never played another game like this, and its dedication to this absurdity, even being a game in 2022 that requires someone to be the mayor separated out of the game who doesn't have any actual interaction with the game other than announcing information, is wild. Yet that is compelling how much it is dedicated to that unique sensibility in both aesthetic in the gameplay. And it does create some really interesting moments, like especially when you hop onto a teleporter and then you are teleported to a completely different section of the same map, but you as a player don't know where the other end of that teleporter was, so you have to start kind of a new map off to the side, which is the reason that the grid on your whiteboard, your dry erase board, is so much larger than the grid that the actual map takes place on, because you don't really know the orientation of anything and you have to connect the dots. Now, as far as the approachability, the intuitiveness of this game, it is interesting because on the one hand, mechanically, it's dead simple and it's something that someone can pick up quite easy. But I think this is one of those games where it's not hard to understand what you can do or what you're supposed to do, but playing well is going to be a much harder uphill battle for some people if they have a harder time with spatial comprehension. Also, I'm going to be honest, for as charming of a game as I think that it is a novelty. It's a diversion. Once you get the experience, it's not something that I, as someone who plays a ton of games, want to play it again and again. Like, once I've seen it done a couple times, the joy comes out of showing other people and being the game master for them rather than actually playing the game. It is interesting, it is unique, but once you've seen it, once you've peeked behind the curtain and you've seen all the tricks that the game has to offer, then it's pretty straightforward and doesn't really have a lot more depth to show you. So overall, it's inventive, it's creative, it's singular, and it is dedicated to its absurdity, which alone makes me very endeared to it. But it's also a game that once I've played a few times, I'm content with the experiences I've had and willing to move on from there. But I want to hear from you. What are your favorite indelibly charming games, just so absurd and strange and unique in this vast array of board games that we call our hobby? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, thanks for being such a great community. I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.